Hey there, welcome to my channel. My name is Rachel. I am a knitter, a dog mom, a wife, and a primary school teacher based here in London. And today is my last day of half term. So I thought I would beat the Sunday scaries by recording my first ever knitting podcast. So thanks so much for joining me, and thank you in advance for your patience. I am figuring this out as I go. I am in fact sitting on my living room floor. My dog is approaching the camera, so she might tip it over. Seems to be okay. Okay, she's settling. And it's getting really dark really early here in London, so I'm sitting by one of the windows that lets in the most light. So yeah, thank you for your patience as I figure this all out and see if I even enjoy doing this. But yeah, grab something to drink, grab something to craft on, and we can get started. So let's get started with what I'm wearing. I'm wearing the Yardana Sweater by Halibut, who is an amazing designer. Not only do I think her designs are really beautiful, but also her pattern writing is probably some of the best that I've ever read and followed. She's really concise with her instructions and doesn't have a lot of extra fluff in them, which I appreciate and find that they're a bit more accessible that way. So yeah, definitely check her out. I was part of the test knit for this. And loved the process of making it, and also love wearing it. It's probably one of my most worn jumpers. I am a bit fearful wearing it to school because kids and paint and markers and all that stuff, but yeah, there's only been one stain so far, so it's okay. For this I used a manchilippies. It calls for unspun wool. And I don't remember what it initially called for, but I ended up using manchilippi because that's what was at my local yarn store. And it was my first time using unspun wool, so I love it. I think it really helps me with my tension. I can be quite a tight knitter when it comes to color work. So this really helps me kind of take a deep breath and mellow out. I used, pardon me as I reach over and look at my notes. So for the main color, I used Gris Claro, which is a really nice, like, oatmeal-y, don't know what this is doing. Hopefully this is doing something. Oatmeal-y kind of gray color. And then I used this blue, which is Azul Marino, which is like a dark blue with some light blue flecks in it. I apologize for the dog hair. It's probably going to be in everything. My dog is white, so yeah. But it's really, really gorgeous. I would love to make another garment out of this. And yeah, I bought 2 cakes of the gris and then 1 cake of the blue, of the azul. And I have more than half left of the azul, and I have about this much left of the gray. So it's a really affordable option if you're wanting to use unspun wool and you end up having a lot left over. I will try to leave some description here on the side if I can figure that out. And if not, I'll link everything to my Ravelry, which has all the information about the jumper in there. Yeah, so really recommend not only the wool, but also the pattern itself. All right, so moving on to finished objects. This is really exciting. My husband, dog, and I were up in Edinburgh in spring, in March, I think it was, because I was running the Edinburgh Marathon with a friend. And afterwards, we of course stopped by some yarn shops, one of which was Ginger Twist, which I highly recommend you check out if you get a chance. It's a stunning shop, and also the workers there are just super friendly. Yeah, so we were in there, and they're dog friendly, which is even better. Funny story is that we walked in and we were like, hey, can we bring our dog in? And they're like, yeah, sure, as long as she doesn't eat any wool. My husband and I were like, okay, what? Like we know that dogs like wool. Our dog especially likes sheep, but she's never like tried to eat anything. So we were like, yeah, no problem. She won't do that. We walk in and he picks out wool for these socks that he would like me to make. And then we're kind of wandering around and I'm looking at some like wool tops because I had recently started to spin. And as I'm holding this, my dog just starts like sniffing, and then all of a sudden just puts her whole snout into the comb top. My husband and I are like mortified, so he quickly takes her out. And then I'm like, okay, yes, I will buy this now that my dog has slobbered all over this. But yeah, just a funny thing and a funny story. But they were very sweet about it, and yeah, love that shop. But yeah, so my husband picked out some Garthenor Snowdonia for me to make socks for him for his birthday. And I bought the yarn in March. I started it in June so that it would ideally be ready for his birthday in July. And I have just finished the second sock today, November 2nd. So it's been a hot second. I am not a sock girly. I wish I could be. I wish I was. But I am much more of a scarf girly, as you will see. But yeah, this is Garthenor Snowdonia, as I said, which is a really lovely organic wool. The brown one is Brithdeer, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And then the green is really lovely. It's kind of like a marled green. I don't know if that's doing anything, hopefully, with some like gold. And this one is Derwin, 50% Romney and 50% Hebridean, which is really exciting because we went to the Hebrides last 2 summers ago. Yeah, but yeah, he picked these out, and yeah, I started knitting some socks and finally finished them, which is exciting. I will say I love it. I love the wool, and we're both really like wool people because it's cold here. But I did notice that the spin is really different, like in each skein. So there's some bits that are really thick. Let's see if I can show you, where the spin is a bit looser, and then there's other bits where the spin is quite tight and makes it a lot more thin, which is totally fine. Just I didn't know that going into it and was like, oh, what's wrong? But I think it's actually kind of normal, so just know that going into it if you do decide to purchase this yarn. But it's lovely. I probably have enough, so I bought one brown, one green. Probably have enough. Well, no, probably not. But we'll use this for another sock maybe one day. Yeah, these were inspired by some Finisterre socks that he likes. The top is 2x2 ribbing and then a 3x1 rib along the leg. Then it's a slip stitch heel and a gusset in the contrast color. No, the gusset's in the brown color. And then the continued 3x1 rib across the top of the foot, and then a toe to crease. I'm sure there's some technical term to it, but I will have this all linked in my Ravelry. Yeah, but yeah, exciting. Oh, the wool does grow. So this is it unblocked versus blocked. Probably grows about maybe like an inch in width, and maybe like a ½ inch in length. But yeah, it's just really nice and thick. So yeah, those are the ribbed socks. Okay, cool. Moving on. My next finished object is a Sophie scarf. Classic. So when we were in Ginger Twist and buying that yarn and the comb top, I saw this St. Magnus DK Angora and lamb's wool kind of up on the shelves, and this blue like was so striking, and I like am usually quite a natural colored girly, But something about this was just like calling to me. So I like picked it up, looked at it, was like, oh, this is nice. Sat it, put it back, and then kind of like kept on walking. And then I went to go pay and just like couldn't leave it. So I picked up a ball of it, and you get a good amount of yarn. It is quite pricey, so I'm glad that you do. But yeah, I was able to make this giant silky scarf, which wraps around twice. And then I probably have enough to make another like small little silky scarf or to add to some other color work project. But yeah, super soft, super lovely. They have a really gorgeous like orange color that I think I want to make a pressed flowers with next. But yeah, really lovely. So that is a finished silky scarf. My next finished object is the wallflower bandana. That is missing the wallflower. This is a pattern from the book Cultivate. Yes, I am using a beer coaster as a bookmark. That's okay. By Dee Hardwick and Johanna Helen. Like stunning book. Almost like a coffee book table, because like the images are really beautiful. But this is the wallflower, and you can see it has this really gorgeous, don't really want to show you the pattern, but this like gorgeous flower that's embroidered on top of it, which I have not gotten around to. I have the yarn. This yellow is knitting for olive merino in mustard, and then I'm planning on using also knitting for olive merino in claret, poppy rose, and slate green to do the embroidery, and I will have a good chunk of this left over to do something else with. I will say that I do like knitting for olive and I do like their colors, but I don't know if I'm a big merino wool girly. It's nice, it's soft, but I think I like a bit more like character, maybe a bit more oomph to it. But we'll see. It is nice. I really like to wear this like folded and then around my neck like this, and it just keeps it nice and cozy and also keeps the cold off of my back. And it's a nice layer for like in the classroom if I'm just a little bit chilly. Also kind of feel like a Girl Scout wearing it. But yeah, so that is, I would say, almost finished, but calling it finished for now. Yeah, and I guess this is a finished object, but I haven't been having much luck lately with like sizing. I don't know if like there's been a lot happening in life, so like I feel like my gauge has changed, which probably, I don't know, or I'm not doing a good enough gauge swatch. But yeah, so I knitted this Boss #1 in Knitting for Olive soft silk in like their natural color, undyed, over the summer, and as I was traveling through Norway, and I was really silly and didn't try it on until the very end, and the armpits are way too low. Should have listened to the people of Ravelry. So I am in fact going to frog this and knit it again, but I probably won't do this until next spring because there's some other things that I want to knit on. Yeah, but that's it for finished objects. My works in progress. I have a work in progress that I am also going to frog. This is my, not the dog toy. This is my Olga. She's kind of Where's Waldo-y, and I kind of love her for that. So during our trip to Norway this past summer, we were driving around, and my very, very sweet husband helped me, drove me to all the different yarn factories, and let me go peruse for hours on end. Love him for that. But yeah, one of the first ones we went to was, in fact, Sandnes, which was really cool. If you do get the chance to go, definitely check out their like back discount area. They have some good bits there. So yeah, I didn't get any from the back discount area, but I got some from the main store. And I got this Pure Git tweed, which is like the rainbow sparkly one. I think it's Tutti Frutti. Yeah, Tutti Frutti. And then this red, which is kind of like a reddy orange. And this is also Peer Gynt, not tweed. Not tweed. I have the ball band somewhere. I don't know. 4018. It might have a name. But yeah, I knew going in that I wanted to get this tweed, and was looking for something to pair it with, and kind of wanted to, yeah, do something new and different. So I picked up this red, and I love it. But it does look like I am Waldo, or Wally. Well, anyway, yeah. So I was knitting on this, and I knew that I wanted it to be oversized. And I kept trying it on and being like, yeah, that's cute, that's roomy. Knit the whole body, did the Italian bind off, knit the sleeve, and the sleeve was where I was like, this is big. So I ripped back the sleeve, did a different decrease rate than what the pattern calls for, and ended up really liking the sleeve the way that I did. And then blocked it to see before I did the other sleeve, and then tried it on and was like, oh, this is way too big. You can kind of, yeah, it's huge. And it just kind of hurts because this just reminds me of Norway, and I don't really, I mean, I need to rip it back, and I know that I will be happy once I reknit this in a size that I will wear. But I think, again, this will also have to wait because there's a few other things. Yeah, that's my Olga. Poor thing. What else am I working on? Halibuts. I feel like I'm kind of setting myself up for more disappointment by knitting this. I've only had to rip this back 3 times. And I feel kind of silly, like, paying for a pattern and then only using the pattern for, like, the chart, which I probably could have tried it out myself. Anyway, yeah, so after doing the Yardana, I was like, I really like color work. I don't know if I like the round yoke because, like, yeah, sleeves are deep and there's issues with it. It's quite, like, boxy and stuff. And every time I lift my shoulders, it just kind of... yeah. But yeah, I was confident enough after that to go and try and tackle the halibut, and I am very aware of all the issues with it. And yeah, was just really wanted this jumper. So yeah, where do I start? I am knitting this. The green is West Yorkshire Spinners, the Croft, in the color Fetlar. Which is like a nice green. It wasn't really the color I wanted. I found like 3 skeins on Vinted for an insane deal, and like looked on West Yorkshire Spinner's website and was like, oh yeah, this is like a nice green. It's not like anything else that I have because I have a lot of green clothes. And then it arrived and it's not the color I wanted. Yeah, so I kind of held on to it, and then my flatmate gifted me some more West Yorkshires for Christmas, and I was like, I just need to use this. So it was between the halibut and the loom by Sorry Norland, and I went with the halibuts. Yeah, so that's the green. But now that it's thinning up, I actually quite like the green, which is a relief. And then the cream is stunning, like stunning. I've been wanting to use this wool for a long time. There's a pink tweed that I really love. So maybe when I'm done with this and have gone through some other projects, I'll treat myself to some of the pink one. But this is Studio Donegal, Soft Donegal in 2BC 5507. Again, I'll leave information here or in my Ravelry. But it is a yellowish green with some with some blue and yellow tweedy bits in it, and I love it. I like it more than the West And similar to the Garthenor, it is a quite an uneven spun, which I think gives it a lot of character and is also quite common in tweedy yarn, right? So there are some bits that are a bit thicker, and then you'll get some really thin bits. Of course, I can't find any right now. But that has kind of affected the colorwork tension a bit. So I like up to here is blocked, and then from down here is not blocked, and you can kind of see that, like, yeah, it's not super even. I've been knitting on this during some big life things, so the tension's kind of all over the place as well. But yeah, so I knew that I needed to adapt the yoke and split for sleeves earlier. So essentially what I did is I knit the collar and did a folded over collar, and then went straight into the collar work. The pattern does call for you to do short rows, and I skipped those because I didn't want a super long yoke, which it has turned out to be anyway, but that's fine. Yeah, I went into the color work, and then on row, like, I don't remember, I'll have it here or in my Ravelry, 64 or something, no, before that. After the last increase in the color work chart, I split for sleeves and put these sleeves on hold, and then just finished the color work chart. And then I'm going to add short rows to the back, so that way it will lift the back and bring down the collar. But I wanted to do the arm before I did that to kind of see how it pulls. And I am following the legs V-neck, decrease rate for the arms, because I really like the shape of that one. And then I think I'm going to do like a thick cuff, and then also a thick ribbing at the bottom. But yeah, I guess I can try it on for you. So I knew going into this that I needed to shift the color work so that I could split for sleeves in a more natural place. So I think originally in the size 2, there's like 2 fish that are splitting the center of the jumper, and so I just shifted it over so that there was 1 fish in the middle, and that way I could split for sleeves in between these 2, which means that I have 2 sleeves. I have 2 fish on each sleeve, 3 fish on the front, and then 3 fish on the back, for a total of 10 fish. Yeah, so this is it so far. It is a long yoke, and I think that's because of my tension. This is a lot thicker than the West Yorkshire spinners, and also my row gauge is massive. So that's made it a lot longer. But yeah, this is her so far. The sleeve needs blocking, so please don't look too closely at her. Yeah, I still really like this, and I'm still kind of undecided about this. We'll see how it looks when it's finished blocking. But yeah, she might get put on hold because I feel like I'm needing some like instant gratification right now, because life has gotten a bit tricky, and I don't want to use my brain too much right now when I'm knitting. Yeah, so she's cute, but we'll see what happens to her. I think we're back. Woo! All right, so those are all of my works in progress. Like I said, I went to the yarn store a few days ago. I am going to Southern California, where I'm originally from, to visit family over the holidays. And I have decided, because I don't have enough on my plate, to make some gifts. So my sister has requested a little necktie, similar to Sophie's scarf, but kind of a blend of like my favorite things knitwear. Scarf number 3, like the shape of that, and then the Easy Peasy bandana, which is this one, just like a stockinette. So kind of blending those 2. And she requested it in black, so I picked up Kinross 4-ply, which is a really lovely lamb's wool. When you get it, it comes like this. When you get it, it feels soft, but like you can tell that there's still some of the like spinning oil in it. And then when you block it and like let it soak, it just becomes so soft, like almost softer than cashmere. So I picked that up for her, and already has loads of dog hair in it, and I'm going to hold it with the Gepard Kid mohair because she wants a bit of fluff because she's fancy. So that is going to be next on my needles. Yeah, I'm really excited to work with this Kinross. It's another Scottish yarn that I really love, and we love Scotland. I also picked up a skein. They're 50-gram skeins in Mary. Oh, I think this one's just called Black or something. This is a red one called Mary, and I'm planning to make, guess what, a bandana out of this. I got some Folklana alpaca from Norway last summer, and because I'm Peruvian and keep thinking, oh, I should knit more with alpaca, and just haven't enjoyed it by itself, and I think it needs a bit more structure. So my plan is to hold it with this. I should have gotten it out to show you. Yeah, and hopefully this will just give it a bit more oomph. Yeah, so I'm excited to use that. And then I was and have been really excited because my local yarn store, Wild and Woolly in Clapton, started carrying US wool. And US wool is like a small mill that's up in the Outer Hebrides on North Uist, which is a tiny island, and they have just some really gorgeous wool. And my husband and I were up there 3 summers ago, I don't remember, a couple summers ago, and it was right around the time that I had started knitting, but unfortunately they were closed the days that we were there. So didn't get to go visit them, but have always kind of kept an eye out for them in yarn shops. And yeah, it was so exciting to see that Wild and Woolly started to carry them. At first they only had 2 of their shades of DK. Sith, I think, is one of them. It's like the brown with the flecks. I'm sure I can look it up and correct myself here. And then when I went the other day, they started to carry Riofart, and then I don't know how to pronounce it. It's another kind of fadey one, but more like gray. But this is the one that I have been wanting for like ages. So I was really excited to see it. It looks a lot more brown than the pictures that I've seen online, which is great because I'm more of a brown colored wool girly than black. So yeah, really excited to knit with this. It's almost like too pretty to knit with. I have no idea what I'm going to make with it. Maybe a hat, maybe a scarf. But it might just sit like this for a little bit because it's beautiful and stunning. Yeah, so if you have any ideas of what to make, please let me know. And please check out US Wool. They have just gorgeous yarn and really, yeah, are just really sweet. I'm glad I got to see them and squish them and smell them in person. And then the final acquisition, my really good friend from high school, from California, has recently gotten into pottery, and she is insanely good. Has picked it up really quickly, and every time she comes to visit just is really sweet and brings gifts. So the first time she brought me a little like plant pot in this like gorgeous green color. And then I think I mentioned to her one day that I would really like a yarn bowl, and she was just visiting a few weeks ago, and so she came over and she brought this, which was really sweet. I hope she doesn't mind me sharing it on here. But yeah, oh my gosh, and even her little stamp is so cute. Oh, her dog's name is Poppy, so she has some poppies on there. But yeah, she made me a yarn bowl. What a sweet friend. Oh, I love her so much. Yeah, I just mad respect. I could not do this, and it's just been lovely to look at, and also lovely to use, and it just makes me really happy because every time I see it I think of her, and she's such a dear friend. I could cry. Ooh. But yeah, so cool. Yeah, I think that is everything. Hopefully. Thank you so much for hanging out and spending your however long this is, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, hopefully not too long, with me. Yeah, super exciting. I think I like doing this. So hopefully there will be another video in the near future. Yeah. So thanks so much for joining me, and hopefully I'll see you again soon.